Start your day with a boost, the natural way. Welcome to Shroom Brew Cafe, where our Shroom Brew coffee energizes you naturally. Experience the perfect blend of rich coffee and powerful mushrooms that not only wake you up, but also enhances your focus and supports your digestive health. From our energizing Shroom Brew coffee to our specialized products for focus and digestion, Shroom Brew Cafe has what you need to feel your best. Visit us today at Dr. T23 site, that is DRT23 site, and discover the power of shrooms today. Let's start the show.
Hey, come on in and welcome to A Win is a Win podcast, where sports and everything else collide. Comfortable? All right. Let's go, Dr. T.
Well, welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. That's right. I told y'all last week I'll be right back here again, and guess what? Here I am. Thank you for coming back to join me here at A Win is a Win. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast. And don't forget to tell someone to tell somebody else to go ahead and join A Win is a Win. And listen, we are running the numbers up. Thank you guys so much. If you are listening, but go ahead and just hit that subscribe. And guess what? I don't even charge you for it. That's right. It won't even cost you a thing. And while you're at it, go ahead and hit that notification bell so you know when a new episode drops. Now, where can you find me? Well, you can find me on Apple Podcast, Spotify. I'm even on iHeartRadio. I'm somewhere on Audible. Go ahead and search it up. I'm over there too. Or check this out wherever you get your podcast. Listen, we got some scores to get into. Week 3 is in the books, heading into week 4. And we have some teams that need to do a little bit of soul searching and find out exactly where it is that they need to fix, and they need to do it quickly. Let's jump right into it. Last night was Monday Night Football, y'all. That's right. Bengals. Just a little bit, because y'all said it was like a college offense or college defense. All of that talking, okay? Stop it. You're sitting at 0-3 on the season. Now, I'm not saying that that is not an indication that your season is over, but it's an indication that something needs to change. Now, you lost to the Commanders 33-38. Now, Daniels went 21 of 23, 254 yards and 2 touchdowns. Burrow was 29 of 38, threw for 324 yards with 3 touchdowns. Now, check this out. This is also the first NFL game since 1940 with no turnovers and no punts. Interesting. But something has got to change with the Bengals. And like I said, it's not indicative that the season is over, but y'all need to just stop with the chitter chatter, bitter batter, and play some football, because stop talking. Stop talking. All that talking, and you're losing. 2-2 don't equal 4 on that one. Now listen, the Blue Bison booted the Jags right in the mouth. Listen, I didn't say mouth. I said right in the mouth. Now, possible MVP front runner Josh Allen showed out. Yep, the Bills take the W 47-10. Now, Lawrence threw for 21 of 38. 21 of 38 and threw for 178 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Now, Allen went 23 of 30, threw for 263 yards, 4 touchdowns, and the Bills are now 3-0. Now, D Ham's major interception was a pivotal play in the game, and the defensive, listen, the defensive catastrophe for the Jags allowing 34 points, nasty work. Plus, you know, their DC, yeah, he likes to play a lot of man coverage. Um, and but with, a lot of the injuries, I think that kind of impacts their ability to do that successfully. So, can the Jags turn it around? And what's up with Trevor Lawrence? I mean, he came in the NFL like he was the prince of everything. And I mean, okay, we see how that's going. What needs to change with the Jags? Jump down there in the chat. Let me know. Chiefs hold off the Falcons 22-17. Now, Mahomes went 26 of 39, threw for 217 yards, 2 TDs, and 1 interceptions. Now, Cousins wasn't that bad. He went 20 for 29, threw for 230 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Slow start for Killer Trav, though. Like, what's up? What's going on? I mean, huh, listen, even in the Super Bowl last year, I said it, he wasn't himself. Is this year, that is his 13 or 14? Is it peaking time for him to consider retirement, or is this just the Taylor Swift I'm distracted effect? Like, Killer Trav is just not himself. He's still quiet, but Rashee Rice seems to be Mahomes' go-to for right now with 12 receptions and 110 yards and 1 touchdown. So interesting to see exactly what is going to happen with Travis Kelce. Not entirely sure, but I believe Mahomes has something to say about that. We'll get that audio up in the next segment here. Listen, the Ravens stall out the Cowboys 28-25. And let me tell you, Dak had every single thing to say after the game, and we are going to get into all of the smoke that seems like Dak wants a little bit later into the show. But Derrick Henry, that lives in Dallas, listen, 25 carries, 151 rushing yards, and 2 touchdowns brought all the smoke to Dallas and said, hold on now. Wait a minute. Shh. Remember y'all didn't want me, Jerry? Okay, let me show you why. The Lions roared right in here to the desert, y'all, and pounced on them Cardinals. Now, be clear, Cardinals are not my team, but I live in Phoenix, so sometimes it's nice to see the city get a W. But no, the Lions said not today. Pounced on them Cardinals, taking the W 20-13. Now, Goff went 18 of 23, threw for 199 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. And Murray went 21 of 34. 207 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. It was the Lions run the ball down your throat. Old school, old school, right? And their top tier unit defense not playing games with the Cardinals, not even a little bit. They take the W, and it is interesting to see how many throws Murray overthrew. I'm talking about he might as well threw that ball in the red zone a couple times. He was completely off. See if they can bounce back next week. But check this out. Is it time to ring the alarm just yet for the Niners? We'll talk more about that in the next segment. But the Niners fall 1-2, 1-2 on the season, losing to the Rams 24-27. And I'll say this, go into detail a little bit later. Purdy ain't the problem, okay? He went 22 of 30, threw for 292 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's not the problem. And we're going to dissect that down a little bit later, but they fall to 1-2 on the season. What do you think? Do you think it's time to panic for the Niner gang? Let me know down in the chat. Listen, the Panthers upset the Raiders 36-22 with Dalton going 26 of 37, threw for 319 yards, 3 touchdowns, and Antonio Pierce was not having any of it at all. And he had some words for his players on his team that made business decisions. And he said, quote, "We will make some going forward as well." Here's my thought. Players being choosy is never a good thing. You make millions of dollars to do your job. How much more motivation do you need? Some instances, more often than not, you are making more than the head coach. So I get what he's saying. It was cryptic, but I understand. Seahawks sent the Dolphins for a long swim with Nemo taking the W 24. Listen. Yeah, I said that. Let me go ahead and say that one more time so make sure y'all understood me clear. The Seahawks sent the Dolphins back to Miami and said, "Go swim with Nemo." 24-3. Is this the new Legion of Boom? Because I know Richard Sherman is probably doing his little two-step right now. Listen, Geno Smith went for 26 of 34, threw for 289 yards, 1 touchdown, threw 2 interceptions. And the Seahawks are now undefeated right now, 3-0 on the season going into week 4. Now, Steelers had Harbaugh and the Chargers and L winning 20-10. And Justin Fields is saying, "Listen, all right, y'all wanted to know if I could be QB1. Well, let me show you why." Now, do y'all think Russ is going to get his job back? Because the young bull, he went 25 of 32, threw for 245 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and the Steelers are now undefeated, sitting at 3-0 going into week 4. Do you think that calf just cost Russ his starting position? Or do you think that they're going to wait and hold him until the playoffs? Either way, we're going to talk about what Big Ben Roethlisberger had to say about that. Caleb is having a tough time right now, and they took the L to the Colts 16-21 with 3 interceptions. Now, listen, said this before, and I said it again, and it's something that Tom Brady alluded to, and we'll touch on that. But I've said this quite a few times over the last few years. The NFL is rushing these players. There's no player development at all, and he just won't win consistently unless he takes care of the ball. And sometimes you have to allow the latitude of space to let them transition into what the NFL game is versus what that college game is. Two different, totally different game, much faster, much faster. But he needs to take care of the ball. Throwing for 363 yards or 400 yards, it wouldn't even matter at this point. Something has got to change with him, and I think that he needs to have a little bit more work done. And I think just like in Atlanta, he should have sat down and developed him a little bit under an experienced QB. I don't think he should have went out there and started. Or perhaps, you know how Chicago is, perhaps they just thought that this was the best choice. Well, nothing makes sense with the Bears. Anyway, listen, the Packers packed up the Titans like some Wisconsin cheese. 30-14. Now they are 2-1 on the season. Malik Williams returned to Tennessee and said it wasn't a revenge game, but you couldn't tell. Yeah, all right. In his eyes, he said, "No, this wasn't a revenge game." All right, good brother. That's what you said. But that's not what you showed us, okay? Anyway, cardiac kids, y'all. Y'all know who that is? Yep. It's my Cleveland Browns. Cardiac kids is like watching a car crash and you just stand there like, I just hope everybody's okay. Because it is nothing else you can do. Now, listen, my damn Cleveland Browns fell to the New York Giants. Giants. The Giants? The New York Giants, y'all. 15-21. I'll just say this. We need an O-line roster change, and we need it immediately. And get Watson up out of there, okay? How T.I. said, expeditiously. Get him out of there, okay? Sick and tired of it already. This is not the New York Giants. Anyway, the Eagles hold off the Saints 15-12. Hurts went 29 of 38 through 311 yards, one interception. Now Carr went for 14 of 25 through 442 yards, had one touchdown and one interception. Now Barkley was the show. Yes, he had 17 carries, 147 yards, and two touchdowns. And both teams are now 2-1 on the season. What do you guys think about the Eagles? Do you think something is going on there? I mean, they seem out of sync. They seem I mean, okay, Barkley had a good game, but it's just something is off with them, especially with Hurts. And Nick Sirianni needs to he needs to be very careful because that ice is not even thin anymore. It's turning into water. Okay, picking up what I'm laying down. I hope so. Vikings are not playing any games with anybody other than the game of football. Yep. Winning 34-7. 34-7 over CJ Stroud and the Texans. Not playing any games. Okay. Undefeated so far. 3-0. See what's going to happen with them going into week 4. Listen, the Bucks get bucked by the Broncos. Another upset. Did not see this coming at all. Losing 26-7. What? I know everybody's parlays. Well, hold on a minute now. The Broncos went 26-7. Oh, listen. Let's just see what happens going into week 4. There were a lot of upsets and unpredictable outcomes this week. We never know what's going to happen from week to week, but some of these teams are failing or they are going a lot farther than we even thought. So when we get back in our sports news segment, we're going to talk a lot about a lot of everything that's going on all over sports, okay? Including, listen, Shohei Ohtani's 50-50 ball is worth $500K supposedly. And guess what? The little boy that catches said, I know you lying if you think I'm giving this back, all right? We'll be right back.
Your AI sidekick has arrived. That's right. Turn off the bat signal because Blaze is here to save the day. Blaze is an AI sidekick for overwhelmed teams of one just like you. Brainstorm and outline content ideas with AI. Go from idea to on brand content in minutes. Turn a blog post into 10 plus asset types, ads, social posts, emails, and more. Collaborate with colleagues in real time and get content approved. Go to drT23.site. That is DRT23.site. Navigate to Blaze and download today.
Bang, bang, Niner gang. What has to happen, y'all? Where my Niners fans at? Jump down in the chat. Talk to us now. Well, a falling apart defense and special teams right now not being so special. I think the plate of is filling up fast. Week 3 wasn't on Purdy, if you ask me. Now, the Chargers held Mason to 77 yards and 19 carries, which you can see in that game. It put way more pressure on Purdy to get the ball out. And you got to think about it like, this is why I get frustrated with people holding out, not showing up, not participating in practice, because Ayuk is still chasing helicopters and stars somewhere in the clouds. Because where are you at, good brother? Where are you at? I haven't seen you. You haven't done anything since you got your money. Nothing to talk about. No stats to report. Nothing at all. While Jennings, okay, now he hauled in 11 catches for a whopping 175 yards. Now, you do have to think about it like this, though, okay? They have 3 major weapons that are out that's affecting their overall performance. But even still, your other players need to show up. I mean, in my opinion, it might be time to grab the alarm, but it's not time to ring it just yet. I think they'll turn a corner. Hopefully, everybody sees that it needs to be all hands on deck and show up and do your job. What did Antonio Pierce say? Some people made business decisions, and so we will have two too. Don't let that be Shanahan saying that. All right, because Noah Lyles is feeling the same way. He said, you can't take a shot at a title, but you can take a shot at me? He still got smoke for Tyreek Hill. Let's listen to what the brother had to say. You to a race. What are your thoughts on that? I know you said he was cloud chasing. But then you pledged some support to him after he went through that incident in South Florida. So where do you stand right now with that? Is it something you would take seriously? Yeah, I mean, the two scenarios are different. You know, one has to do with being a human, right, and the other one has to do with sports. But yeah, I mean, nobody should have to go through what he went through, no matter the circumstances. We're all human beings, and we should be treated as such. But in terms of running a race, look, man, you got to be serious. Everybody wants to jump up to the top. Right. Everybody wants to jump into the top. Everybody wants to race the fastest man. I didn't grab this title because it's easy or because I went the easy route. So Mike Tyson's punch out those video games. Everybody got to get up to the level of champ. Hey, you can't take a shot at the title. Okay. But I'll let you take a shot at me. So, you know what? I think he has a point. Noah Lyles can say some things that are like, questionable. But in this regard, it's like, okay, look, let's just calm down, stay in your lane. Let me handle what I do over here on this track and field, and you handle what you do over there on the football field. And you also have to understand that two sports are separate for a reason. We can respect each other, but stop trying to come for me, because if you come for me, then I'm going to have to show you. And I feel like that's what he's alluding to. Listen, where do y'all think Bryce Young should go? Get down in the chat. Let me know. All right. So I'm going to give you my top 5, and I'm going to leave 6 up for question for you all. Or you give me your top 6, and let's see how we compare. All right. So here's some options. New York, he can go to the Giants, the Dolphins, 3, the Raiders, the Titans or the Rams. So, number 6, I have a question mark. Where do you think he should go? Or give me your top 6. Where do you think my last slot should be for Bryce Young? Because listen, let's keep it real. Carolina has issues. Okay? They have issues. And long before he got there, I don't know. Sometimes these billionaires that aren't in the sport, but they just want to buy a team, have no idea what it takes to run a football club. Mr. Tepper needs to sometimes ownership needs to change because he's in the category of a Jerry Jones to me, Mr. Tepper. Okay, Brother Tepper needs to go ahead and tip on somewhere because that organization is a complete mess. Listen, staying in from the snow, will you do that? Or are you going to pull out the grill and get in the sun? Because listen, Christmas Day is packed, not with regifted presents that you don't want, or you're going to just say, oh, thank you, and give it to somebody next year. Nope. But with football, that's right, y'all. They want you. The sports world wants everybody in the house on Christmas Day, 12 p.m. The Spurs and the Knicks go at it. 1 p.m. we got the Chiefs and the Steelers. 2:30 p.m. we got the Timberwolves and the Mavericks. 4:30 we have the Ravens and the Texans. At 5 p.m. you got the 76ers and the Celtics. At 8, I'm not done. At 8 p.m. you got the Lakers and the Warriors. And to top off the night before you get too sleepy, you had your pumpkin pie, you had your pecan pie, sweet potato pie, you had all the turkey and dressing that you can get at 10 p.m. Check this out. The Denver Nuggets and the Phoenix Suns close off Christmas Day. Where are you going to be? What are you going to be doing? Are you outside on the grill? You outside on the grill? Because I know that's what we do out here in Phoenix. The grill's going up. Or are you staying in, hopefully, with family and sitting in front of the TV? Because listen, everybody's going to be paralyzed and not just from food on Christmas Day. Now, check this out. Tennessee says, show us the money. Yep. Tennessee is adding a 10% talent fee to ticket prices to raise funds for players. Now, the implemented fee next year is in preparation for the approval of the House versus the NC2A settlement, which would allow schools to pay about $22 million per year to athletes beginning the year 2025 and 26. Now, I believe a couple of episodes ago, I mentioned that the NC2A in schools would not pay the players and that we, the fans, would end up paying the players. And listen, all I know is that it just seems like it's passing along the cost to us. And here's the thing, you have a handful of players that, are on NIL deals. Okay. And then you have the other hand of players who are not. So how do you make this work? Or schools who don't have any players in it. How do you make this work? Well, okay, we're going to increase the ticket prices. Let's make the community pay, as if the community isn't already perhaps saving up to go to one game or can't afford a ticket. So they're patronizing it by watching it on the TV, because then you get the kickback from the views and the commercials and the media packages. It seems to be all a mess when you boil down to it. But hey, we knew this day was coming, and we just didn't know it would be this soon. Listen, the Patriots cut Rieger hours before their game last week. And, when they cut Jalen on Tuesday, they released him from the practice squad ahead of their week 3 tilt game against the Jets on Thursday. And the roster move was just hours before the game, after which Jalen posted a now deleted. I can't understand that. Post and delete. It means if you posted it, you meant it. Don't delete it later. But you can't tell people what to do with their social media. So this picture, and you can go on X or whatever it's called, Twitter, Instagram, whatever social media you have. And the picture is depicted with a Bugatti sports car parked outside a less than lavish home. Basically, um, he is like trying to say that he's the Bugatti and the Patriots are the crappy house. And so if that's what you meant, good brother, then stand on it. Stand on it. Don't delete it. I'm elite in this house of trash, is basically what you're saying. So if that's what you meant, then do it. But here's the thing. This is why I say social media has aided in the ability of getting messy, because back in my day, we didn't have social media. So if they felt that way, we never saw it unless they had a sports column in the newspaper that you actually had to go by and open it up and read it. And they out of their own mouths would have said that. But now people are strong with the thumbs and then the fingers, and they post and stuff and then think about it later and delete it. Okay, but it's never lost just because you deleted it. Somebody then already screenshotted it and reposted it everywhere. So what's next for Jalen? Don't know, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. The NFL power rankings just touched down. And here we go, y'all, with another list. Yes, we have another infamous list. Let's see what the NFL power rankings look like. All right, here we go. So at 10, mind you, this is as of last week. They haven't dropped for this week yet. So next week when we circle back and I come back to y'all, let's see what the rankings look like. But as of now, they have the Eagles in the 10th spot. They gave 9 to the Vikings. Okay. The Saints are in the 8th position. 7th position is the Bucks. The 6th position is the 49ers. 5th position, they gave it to the Packers. 4th position, Texans. 3rd, Detroit. 2nd, Bills. And of course, we know everybody got the Chiefs at number 1. So what do y'all think about the power rankings? I mean, teams, listen, why are the Packers at 5 is my question. Why? I don't understand that. And I do believe that the Saints deserve to be more than 8th. I mean, I don't know. That's just my opinion. The I don't know. And then some people are saying the Chiefs can't be number 1. Just think that's just more of a personal thing, that they just don't like the Chiefs, because I don't see why they wouldn't be. I mean, what have they done to make them not be number 1? Let's just ask the questions, because remember, answers start with questions, right? So if that's not the answer for them to be number 1, then tell us what the question is. Listen, Charles Barkley calls on Booker to be a leader. And he says this, that my sons, now listen to me. I want y'all to understand something right now. Let me preface this quote because I am reading something that Charles Barkley said. Okay, please don't come for me in the comments because we all know how Sir Charles talks. Okay, all right. Now, my sons, they got no identity and no leadership. You got to have a style of play. You got to have a leadership. The Suns have not proven they can do that yet. Book is a terrific player. The whole dynamic of the team changed when KD and Bill was there. I think he means is there. Okay. Now they got to have leadership. He's got to take the leadership role. I think he's reluctant because he assumes that KD is the best player. Kevin has said he don't want to be a leader. He just wants to play basketball, Charles Barkley, on what needs to be done with the Suns. Do you guys agree that Book needs to step up and um, take over the team? Because in my eyes, like when I go either when I watch a Suns game or in the occasion that I may have to, do some work for them, and you watch Book, he is that team. But my rebuttal to this is everybody isn't a leader or interested in that job. Do you see what I mean? It doesn't always translate over into this is my team, this is my responsibility. I'm gonna put it on my back. And Book is a hell of a player, but perhaps maybe that's just not his thing. You know what I mean? And you got to think when Chuck went there in 92, he took the leadership role. I mean, right away, straight away. And he took it right on away from KJ. But I think um, he's a little off when it comes to Book, but he might be right in saying that KD doesn't look like he wants to be the leader of the team either. Um, so what do you guys think? Who do you think should step up and be the leader of the Suns? Jump down in the chat. Let me know what you think.
Voting is the cornerstone of our democracy. We know that people fought tooth and nail to get that privilege. It is how we make our voices heard and we drive change in our communities through voting. Your vote matters, so make sure you are registered, stay informed, and cast your ballot this upcoming election. Remember, your vote is your power. If you are not registered to vote, go to vote.org. That's vote.org. Get registered so that your voice is heard. Let's get back to the show.
So, is Chad Ochocinco Johnson a Hall of Famer? That was a big, big debate on social media this past week. And when you look at average Hall of Fame wide receivers who are putting up just about the same numbers, it brings about a fairly legit argument. So if you look at him in comparison to Michael Irvin, all right, Michael Irvin, 6-time Pro Bowler, 11,624 yards, first team 2-time All Pro. Let's look at Ocho stats. 6-time Pro Bowler, 11,059 yards, first team All Pro. So, some of the arguments that I've come across are actually legit. I think that some people do have a point. And I'll say this before I ask my question. Super Bowls and playing on a super team, it's always a thing, right? Now they had arguably the best running back of his generation. They had the Terry Bradshaw, if you like, of his generation, and Irvin benefited from that. Now, was he dominant? Now, he wasn't, I'll say, like a Randy Moss in his prime or Tariq Hill, but he was consistent and a Pro Bowl level talent. However, I think that Ocho was probably just as good without the same level of help. And, his stats are right there. Um, and, some people say that he had a profound influence on, like that era's generation with, of course, we know Ocho for his celebrations and his attitude. And he's in the Bengal, Ring of Fame. He's a Ring of Fame honoree and one of the top players over there. But a big part of those averages is the fact that a lot of wide receivers in the Hall of Fame, they played in a heavy run era. Don Hudson, Raymond Berry, etc. Not to mention Chad's touchdowns. They're there, but they really don't stack up. Now, compare Chad's numbers to Hall of Fame wide receivers that he played alongside, like look at Marvin, Moss, and T.O. Um, I, I'll say this. I think he's very good, but I don't see him getting in before like a Torrey Holt or Isaac Bruce or Andre Johnson. I mean, even Stephen Smith. Is there an argument? Yes, there is. What do you think? Do you think Ocho deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? Go ahead and jump down there in the chat. Let me know what you think about that. Listen, Christian McCaffrey and others, okay, are on a long list of just stacked up injuries already. Let's take a look. So you got McCaffrey, he's out with his Achilles, and then Brown, he has the hamstring going on. Debo, of course, he has the calf. Cooper Cup, he's down with his ankle. Excuse me. Puka Nakua has a knee injury. And then T. Higgins, although he played, he had been out with a hamstring. We know what's going on with Tua and his concussion. Jordan Love is still going to be out for weeks with his knee injury. Pacheco is a big piece missing for the Chiefs. He has that fibula injury. That's kind of nasty. And then Keenan Allen still is dealing with his heel. And then you got Mixon, who has his ankle. I mean, the list keeps going. Jordan Addison has an ankle also. Walker the third, he has an oblique injury. He's dealing with. We know about Wilson's calf injury. And you have Buckner, who has an ankle as well. It keeps going. You got Villa in his knee injury. So big piece missing there for the Bucks. And then you have Mostert, and he has a chest injury. So some key players missing from these lineups, and could be definitely pieces that are needed during this season that aren't there. Listen, what do you think about an all you can eat 2-piece with biscuit? That sounds good, huh? Yeah, but it doesn't sound good when that's what you're offering for football. Now check this out, right? You have the let me bring this up here. You have Marshall's head coach, okay, is pretty much offering a knee, a shoulder, and probably his firstborn child, if he has any, for Ohio State players to transfer down to where they are now. He was quoted by saying, would love to have some of those guys from Ohio State If they want to transfer on down, we've got Tudor's Biscuits, NIL. And I promise you, all you can eat all day if you transfer here. Let's take a listen to what Charles Huff had to say.
Some of those guys from Ohio State too. So if they want to transfer on down, we've got a Tudor's Biscuit NIL, all you can eat. So if any of those guys that run really, really fast at Ohio State, like Tudor's Biscuits, promise you, all you can eat all day if you transfer here. So, but yeah.
There you have it. He's saying, come on down here, get your NIL deal. And listen, we got biscuits on deck. And let's just face it, Marshall does need some help. Listen, early stoppage or not is the question. So, Big Shot and Taliesin, TX Sierra, I can never say the last name, had Dana White and a lot of other people hyped. You have people upset because I think it has to do more with the bets. Okay. People are saying bad stoppage. Come on, guys. You have to be blind not to see that the let's do this. Let's get rid of the Instagram bots, okay? The flickering Instagram bots or the people upset about these um parlays if you had them or bets, you got to stop and understand what the game is. He was knocked out cold, okay? When the head snaps back onto the mat, the refs have to call it. That was done. It was not an early stoppage. Stop it, okay? Stop with the antics online just because your parlay or your pick didn't pay off. His head snapped and he went back on the mat. Lights out on that one. Listen, Big Ben Roethlisberger has jumped all the way into the Steelers chat. Yes, he did. He has a lot to say about the situation over there between Russ and Justin Fields. Now, this is what Ben had to say. He said, if Russ is healthy, I'm still sticking with Justin. And, he feels that Justin earned his spot to remain as QB1. And Wilson should not get that spot even if he returns. And a lot of people don't disagree with that. And then if you're looking at where the Steelers are right now, they're 3-0, and there's no one in close proximity in the AFC North behind them. So, I mean, there is a heck of an argument right now. And some people are saying, well, why did he have to say it like that? And trying to imply that, what is he trying to do? Shade Russ? And I don't think it's shade. I just think it's facts at this point. He's gotten them to 3-0. He's not playing bad football at all. And what do? Do you, as soon as Russ comes back, and let's say Russ is ready to go next week, do you just bench him now? Do you just put him on the bench and say, okay, thanks for showing up, but now uh, it's time for Russ to get back into it? I don't think that that's the answer. You know what I mean? That's not the answer. You don't do that to that young man. He's been balling. He's been on his A game, and he stepped up when he needed to. And look where the Steelers are. So, no, I don't think you take him out. Some people don't take Big Ben's word as credible given the situation, um, you know, that he's been in. Um, some people are saying that neither are an upgrade, but people are going to have their opinions, and all you could do is just watch from week to week and see how he performs. And if for some reason he goes out bad and he starts just throwing ints and he's fumbling the ball and he's not making completions, well, then that's a subject for a different day. But right now, let that young man cook. Okay. Now, in college, check this out, with kids and a 401k. Hmm. In college, start there. Okay. With kids. Hey, Tino, that's my puppy. And a 401k. Yeah. So both Utah and Oklahoma states QBs are 7th-year seniors. 7th-year seniors, y'all. Okay. Utah's QB is 25. Oklahoma's QB is 24. I don't understand why, like, it's time to go. How many degrees do you have? I mean, look at Caleb. He's 22. He's 22 years old. 7 year. And it couldn't. I need to see what are the guidelines for how long you can be in college. Because we talked about this before. Colorado State's QB was, what was he, almost 30 with 6 kids, 5 or 6 kids, and a wife? Was he on the NIL deal? I believe he was. He make a couple million a year. But is this like perpetual? Is this forever? Is there a perpetuity in the contract that says you can play forever? What happened to graduating, getting your 4-year degree, and moving along with your life? 7th-year senior, you're a super duper. You might as well be a professor. Get on the staff, get on the faculty or something. Because my Lord, I have no, I can't. If anybody knows any details about what colleges nowadays allow, let me know. Win is a win pod@gmail.com. Send me an email. Let me know what's going on. Listen, Sugar is out for surgery after that Las Vegas loss. It looks like he injured his hip following that title loss. And he says, I have to have surgery on October the 3rd. And he was online with streamer Aiden Ross. I tore my left labrum in my hip. And that's the only reason why I'm going to be out for so long. The surgery should only take 2 months to come back from. Then you have, on top of that, obviously, you have a couple of months of recovery. Um, you know, some people are saying that he's using this as an excuse. Listen, a torn labrum is nothing to joke around with. And um, no, Marab did not work Sugar into taking a leave of absence. It just happens. It just happens. So, right now they're saying, will he be the same when he gets back? Because anything that's done on your hips can alter your game no matter what you're doing, no matter what sport or what activity that you're involved in. It can alter it, quite significantly. So, now all of a sudden we got Marab fans. They're just coming out of nowhere like, yeah, yeah, we sent him out. We sent him on a vacation. Bro is scared. Stop it. Stop it. I don't believe that a person will fake their injury all the way to the operating room and have a surgeon in on it just so that it could be good conversation. Knock it off. Now, Tom Brady says football is weak. Yep. It's been dumbed all the way down. Um, and let's take a listen to what he said. But first, he says, I think it's a tragedy that we're forcing these rookies to play early. Now, I said that. I said that many different times over many different episodes. The only reason why they are the way that they are is because we've dumbed down the game. Let's take a listen.
college programs. Now there are college teams. You're no longer learning a program, you're learning a playbook. And the program is ultimately, like at Michigan, for me, that was a pro style program. 5 years I got to learn how to drop back pass, to read defenses, to read coverages, to be coached. I had to learn from being seventh quarterback on the depth chart to moving up to third to ultimately being a starter. I had to learn all those things in college. That was development. Then I went to New England and I was developed by Coach Belichick and the offensive staff there. I didn't start my first year. I think it's just a tragedy that we're forcing these rookies to play early. But the reality is the only reason why they are is because we dumbed the game down, which has allowed them to play. It used to be thought of at a higher level. We used to spend hours and hours in the offseason and training camp trying to be a little bit better than next year. But I think what happens is discourages the coaches from going to deep levels because they realize the players don't have the opportunity to go to a deep level. So they're just going to teach them where they're at. There used to be college pro.
And a lot of people are in agreement with Brady. I, for one, don't think that he said anything wrong here. I really actually don't. And if you see how fast they are rushed, think about it. The draft, June, or something. Yeah, June. Okay. Then you have July, August, or whenever excuse me, you have the, how do I want to say this? Let's do this. You have the draft. Immediately after that, then you have your voluntary OTAs, then mandatory OTAs. Who are they actually behind? Who are they learning from? What kind of time do they have to develop? And then we see them on the field, and now they're in a situation where they're criticized because of their performance. True, because that's what comes with the game, especially in the QB position. You're going to be criticized. When you win, you get the credit. When you lose, you get the criticism. I get that. But at the same time, when does the development start the re-entry process? We have to re-implement something that has to do with development because they're coming out the gate way, way, way too fast. And you look at the rumblings in Atlanta with the Falcons, and their draft pick isn't starting, but Cousins is. Get him behind Cousins and let him learn from somebody with more experience. Then put him out there when the time is right. I 100% agree with Brady. You jump down in the chat, you guys. Let me know exactly what you think. Listen, KG says that you bet not ever talk shit to Michael Jordan. Don't you ever do it. And he tells a story that's pretty cool about an experience with Michael Jordan. Let's take a listen to some of it.
I double ballot, yeah. You killing that nigga, yo. You killing that motherfucker. So as I say that, feel it. Hands on hips, legs locked. Then look, the nigga stabbed me for about 15 seconds. And walk this off. We in Chicago. Like, I don't even feel it and play it off and dumb me out. Fuck that. Now I'm in here. I got I'm on. Keep telling this nigga, okay, keep it up. So I hear JR go, all right, yo, fella, keep going. Yeah, you too. So he's kind of getting me off and over. I don't even, now that I recall it, he was trying to kind of back you off a little bit. So I double back, go, and get ready to say something. So he go, hey, look, Mike, he don't really know how I see him and Mike having a conversation, but he don't really know he excited, whatever. So now MJ on the back leg joint, he's leaning on you. Is that right? Okay, yeah, huh? Can't even really describe the next like 6 to 7 minutes of play, y'all. In this next 6 to 7 minutes of play, y'all, we down 25 now. It was just at 2. Mike had 18. He had like 40 now. Felt like I don't even pay all myself. We ain't scored in like about 4 minutes. And I subbed like 3 of the starters. Like, it's just, it got bad. Wait, y'all. Come to the joint. I was like, yeah. Man, my bad, dog. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. He like, it's cool, man. I told you, just shut your ass up, man. You're not fun. So you got in between
Gatorade everywhere. You like, damn. And next thing you know, we over there like this. Mike came down. Okay, young fella. Okay, damn, young fella. Damn, y'all never talk shit to Mike ever.
And it's funny because I'll upload the clip to the YouTube channel, but the the actual body movements that he said that Mike was doing was like, oh, okay, so this what you doing? Okay, you must not know. I'm getting ready to kick you in the nuts. And that's exactly what he was saying. Down two, then I pissed him off and came back 25. He said, listen, don't you ever piss off Michael Jordan. That was a pretty cool story. Listen, Woj is retiring. Yep, ESPN senior NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski has agreed to become the general manager of the men's basketball program at St. Bonaventure. He told ESPN that I am retiring from a dream job here at ESPN, and I'm so incredibly grateful for my time and experience with the worldwide leader, he said. And you know what? I'm gonna just say this: if Woj didn't say it, it didn't go down. Because if you want to talk about a credible source, everything that he said was facts. So interesting to see how he is as general manager over at Saint Bonaventure. But you know what? Sometimes it's time to move on. You know that ESPN was bought by Disney. So a lot of what, could be going on behind the scenes could be forcing a lot of people's hand and moving out. There's been some people who have lost their jobs and some people who have left, and it's controversy. You got Max and Stephen A going at it. But when Woj stepped to the mic, yeah, you could bank on what was coming out of his mouth. Listen, the MVP ladder. Here we go with another list, and the MVP ladder has people crashing out all over the place. I'm talking about crashing everywhere. Okay, everywhere about this MVP ladder. And you know what? It's funny because people don't really realize that these how do you say it, lists are a matter of opinion. It's not. It's you can form your own list, but it seems like every week, like I'm sure as I'm recording this podcast right now, right, there's another list being formulated. By the time I log off and when this episode is uploaded, there's going to be another list from this past week's game. You see what I mean? And so, you know, is Mahomes going to be the top QB now, or are we going to put Josh Allen in that? Okay, it's going to vary from week to week, people, but you know how the internet does. The list comes out and people crash out. All right, so here's the MVP ladder so far. All right, now let's do this. We're gonna go from the bottom to number one. So how many do they have? They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so this is their top 10 FanDuel. So at 10 they have Derek Carr, 9 they have Prescott, 8 Murray, 7 Purdy, Jackson at 6, Mayfield at 5, Hurts at 4, Stroud at 3, Allen at 2, and of course, Mahomes sits on top of the mountain. And first of all, I'm trying to figure out how you get Hurts ahead of Baker. That's some nasty work right there. How? He's not even playing like himself. Don't get me wrong. Okay, the Bucks just took a L this past week, but still Baker is playing at a way higher level right now than Hurts. I don't understand that. Now, here's something else, and I know I'm gonna ruffle some feathers. And so, if you guys want, we could come up with our own MVP race list after this week, if you like. Okay, if you want me to come up with my list and then we could talk about it, go ahead, leave me a message or a comment or whatever have you down there in the chat. But check this out. How is Josh Allen, not number one. Let's let that breathe for a minute. How is he who to Mahomes? Numbers are way, we going simply by stats. He clears it easy, easy. But you know, the Chiefs are the Chiefs, right? And they don't think that anybody could take down Mahomes. Listen, Josh Allen, I'm saying it right now, playing at a higher level than Patrick Mahomes. You all, let me know what you think about FanDuel's MVP ladder list. Okay, now listen, when I tell you that that's a bad man, that's a bad man. That's right. Shohei Ohtani's 50th home run ball is estimated to be worth around $500,000. Yep. And he joins the 50-50 club. He might be in there by himself, 50 home runs and 50 um stolen bases. I mean, I listen, the fan who caught the ball is not giving it back at all. It's not even up for discussion. But would you give Otani his ball back? Or would you just opt to walk out like this fan did? Jump down in the chat and let me know. But when I tell you this about, we've not seen anything like this. Man is on an island all by himself right now. That's a bad man right there. I'll tell you that much. You see exactly how he finishes up by the end of the season. And is there anybody in sight of him? Interesting. Listen, Dak Prescott. I just wish he would shut up at this point. And it's to the point where you have to ask yourself a couple of questions when it comes to Dak. For example, why are you mad at the fans? Why? You're coming through the tunnel, okay? And you have a very blunt message for your Cowboy fans while you're leaving the field after the loss. I'm going to play this. It's very far. There is no clear audio, very clear audio anywhere online, but you can kind of hear what he's saying. Take a listen. I don't know if you can hear that clearly, but he said, please, please jump off. Please jump off if you want. Please do it. Now listen, Dak, okay? You have been disappointing your fans since 2013. Let me just stop right there. Okay? I don't think that your fans are jumping ship. I think your fans are just fed up with the same story and the same excuses and the same uncontrolled rhetoric from your team owner, Jerry Jones. Whatever that man says, it makes no sense. He was just on the Jamie Foxx podcast and said some of the most salacious, scandalous stuff that you should not be even saying out of your mouth about another man, acting like it's the these players are on an auction block. Okay. And he's going over specific body parts. Are you kidding me? Come on now. You're under an organization that is a bunch of buffoonery right now. And instead of discussing why you actually lost the game, you're frustrated and pissed off at the fans. Knock it off. Grow up and take responsibility for what you haven't done there. And you are the highest paid quarterback in NFL history right now, 60-some million dollars a year. Knock it off. Okay? I said last week that you're acting like a 2-year-old that's waiting to go get a box of Juicy Juice because you've just gotten in trouble for having an adult tantrum. That's how you're acting, Dak. You haven't won anything in the 8 years that you've been there. The Cowboys haven't won a championship or even sniffed anything close to it in the last 30 years. And you telling people to jump off the ship? Ooh, go on now. Honorary mention. Go on now. Nobody want to hear you talk. Shut up and figure out how to win some games, and quite preferably in the postseason. Listen, there are so many lists that are out right now, and just keeps getting more interesting and more interesting and more interesting. So now we had the MVP list and we had the power rankings. Okay, so now we have the wide receiver one tiers list. And let me tell y'all, when I tell you that I am sick and tired of these lists, they continue to pop up. And so since they're here, what are we going to do? Why, of course, we're going to take a look at it and see what you guys think. But here on one of these episodes coming up in the near future, we're going to stop talking about these lists because they are washed, rinsed, and recycled and put on repeat every week. It's going to be the same argument in a different way because somebody moved up, somebody moved down, somebody dropped off, this person, and it keeps going and going and going. So, anyway, let's entertain this one. Tell me what you would change on this one. Okay, so we're going to start from tier 6 and go up to tier 1. Remember, this is wide receiver 1 tiers. All right, so in tier 6, they have Shakir, Polk, Sutton, and Johnson. In tier 5, you have Rice, Shaheed, Pittman Jr., Ridley, Johnson, Reed, Thomas Jr. In tier 4, you have Neighbors, Harrison Jr., Flowers, Cooper, London, and McLaurin. Tier 3, you have Samuel, Cup, Wilson, Moore, Evans, Metcalf, and Pickens. Tier 2, you have Brown, Chase, St. Brown, Adams, and Collins. And atop of tier 1, you have Jefferson, Hill, and Lamb. Now, what would you change about this list? And I saw something that I would change. I would put, let me look at this. So I would put Rice in tier 3. He's way, way, way too low. And Harrison in tier 4. Like, I wonder if somebody was drunk or on or something when they did this list, because the more and more you look at it, you're like, hold on now. Hold on now. You got Harrison in tier 4. I think Reed should be in tier 4 and Diggs over Collins for sure. I listen, still looking at this. The let's see here. Where's Jalen Waddle at? Yeah, I think he should be on here. And there's no, well, I think T. Higgs was off of here because he was injured. If this list is solely by this year's performance, then I think that's the only reason why he's not on here. But it's a lot of opportunities that I see on this list. So I'm gonna um put this list into the question for this week. All right. And I want you guys to tell me which one you would change on this list, because some of these lists are getting way out of hand and some of them just don't make any sense whatsoever. But again, these lists are a matter of it's a matter of opinion. So we're gonna talk about that. Jump down in the chat. Let me know what you would change after this episode airs. Now, listen, Nick Saban has some words for the Panthers, and he defends Bryce Young and torches the Panthers while discussing the quarterback's benching. Now, this is what he said: quarterback is a really hard position to play if the people around you don't play well. That's one of the bad things about being the first guy picked in a draft. Panthers have to build this thing from the ground up. He further says, I hate to see Bryce get benched, but I also don't see a lot of opportunity for him to be successful based on the skilled players they have around him. The offensive line they have around him, in other words, uh, is horrible. And a lot of people um, is saying that's true, but Andy Dalton doesn't agree with that. Well, here's the thing: Andy Dalton seems to be doing okay in the first showing. He played a game, okay? And to me, that's why, a lot of people there you can tell who's a fan of the sport and who actually knows about the sport, because when you have fans who continuously say Dalton is 110% better than Bryce, well, let's see. I mean, he did well in this past game, but let's see a couple of games, because you're only as good as, like Saban said, what you have to work with. And if he continues to do well, okay, maybe that's the subject for a conversation at a later date in a later time. But, you know, like I said, it has to do with the pieces that you have around your QB and what your, you know, a front office and ownership sees in that team. What are the necessary pieces that we need to make? What are the changes that need to come? Do we, tear it down and build it back up like he said? But like I said, Mr. Tepper, I think somebody needs to pull him aside and have a conversation with him, because that organization was a mess. Let's keep it real. Before Bryce even got there, we can just look at the history of it, okay? And I think that Nick Saban is spot on with this. A lot of people that want to give him flack about it, but listen, the man is not who he is because he doesn't know football. Let's just leave it right there. Unanimous MVP. No questions, no gray areas, no ifs, ands, or buts, no grunts or nothing. 3-time WNBA unanimous player, Asia Wilson, much deserved for her immaculate season. Immaculate season. She has her process was just legendary. So, some people are giving her flowers. More people than not. It's well deserved. She plays her tail off. She leaves it all on the floor. And here we go. Well, it should have been Caitlin Clark. No, let's stop that nonsense right now. Stop it right now, okay? Does Caitlin Clark deserve Rookie of the Year? Why, of course. Let's just keep it real and say what it is, okay? Call an ace, a spade a spade. But most valuable player and the numbers that Asia put up, stop it right now. And if you are a fan of Caitlin Clark, that's cool. But if you are a basketball fan, if you know basketball, then you know for a fact, without even hesitation, that Asia Wilson, she sacrificed her body, built a winning culture with her team. She was a role model in the community. She has a program for young girls. She earned it and left it all on the floor. And she just broke 1,000 points. First player to ever do it in WNBA history in a season. Put some respect on her name for the accolades that she's done, the same way that we need to respect Caitlin and the accolades that she's done. And I say this all the time. Two things can be true at the same time. Two people can be spectacular at the same time. It's not the people that are being talked about that are causing the drama, it's the people that are causing the drama around them. Okay. Shout out to Asia Wilson, unanimous WNBA MVP. All right. Now I saved this one for last because this is a hot topic and you can actually see a, a shift in what's happening. So, what's going on with Killer Trav right now is a question that everybody wants to know. Okay, because if you look at his numbers through the last 3 weeks, he's had 8 receptions, only 69 receiving yards, and no touchdowns. Now, I don't agree with people calling him washed. Um, and I don't necessarily believe that it's a Taylor Swift problem. It could not be. Sometimes people say, when you have a relationship, you're in love, you get distracted from what it is that love the best and you don't do it as much. Okay. That could be true. That could not be true. That's a matter of a personal feeling with them two people. All right. We're not going to get in them folks' personal relationship, but there is something wrong and something vastly different with Trav. Like I said, the targets have been Rice over the last couple of games. They've been getting open, so he's getting the ball. Trav not so much. So do you think that the team's defenses are playing to Trav? Excuse me. Or they're playing to Trav to keep him locked up, which is forcing other people to get open? Or is it time, you know, age creeps up. He's 13 or 14 years deep into the NFL. Okay. He's played at the highest level. But let's face it, sometimes it starts to trail off. Everybody doesn't stay who they are forever, you know? And, people try to clown him online and saying he's playing like Gronk. Um, and, it's like I said, the Taylor Swift effect. Um, and people are going to have their opinions, and now people are switching the conversation to Mahomes is not really giving him chances. Mahomes is not playing at the top of his game. He's really sucked this season. And then some people are saying, well, go back and look at some of the tapes. Kels has been open and Patrick just puts a bad ball out there or just flat out doesn't pull the trigger at all. Um, you know, I think he still has some left, but he knows when it's getting near time. He's getting older. Um, but like I'm the type of person where I look at film. I mean, I have to look at film. It's a part of my job for injuries and all of that kind of stuff. But when I look at film, I'm not looking just at that. I'm actually looking at the game. And he's being double teamed on a lot of plays, which is, like I said, opening up the field as well. And some big plays being called back. Like last week, he had a 16-yard carry on the third down and a penalty called it back. So, it could be a combination of things. It could be that Mahomes feels like he has more weapons now, so he's not getting targeted as much. You know, let's see how it plays out and let, you know, Travis tell us exactly what's going on. I mean, for one, he hasn't said anything. Two, you have Mahomes is at the podium and he's speaking for him, which I don't necessarily agree with. Here's why. Yes, the QB is supposed to be, quote unquote, the leader of the team. But I'm the type of person, hey, look, don't speak for me. If somebody want to know what's going on, I know how to get up to the mic and turn it on. What's going on? What questions can I answer? That's just how I think that should go. But nonetheless, we'll see exactly how he fares out going forward. But, I'm not going to say that he's washed, you know, and I'm not going to say that they're beefing. And even if they are, that hasn't been said to us. I think it's a lot of assumptions. But is he for a fact playing differently? Yes. Is he behind where he normally is statistic wise? Yes. His performance on the field, you can see the movements are not the same, a little slower. So it could be age, it could be targets, but on film, let's just keep it right there at the game without assumptions. He's double teamed a lot. And, sometimes teams got it in their mind like, oh no, guys are not going to three-peat. So we got to take out your weapons. We don't want to hear, people get in their feelings. They don't want to hear nothing about the dynasty anymore. So they switch up how they play the game to make a point. We know who you're going to. So now we're going to double team you. And no, Mahomes hasn't been the best playing in these last couple of games, but like I said, we shall see. All right, get your pens, get your papers out or your phones, notepads out because we are going to go over my picks for this week. Coming up, look in your change purse, see if you got some coins to put these bets in, and we'll be right back. All right, it's time to get into some bets for this week and get into Tiff's picks. Yep. So let's start off with gonna go with a mega over and under parlay on DraftKings. Don't forget, go over there to Dr. T23.site. That is DRT23.site. Click join me on DraftKings and they will match your bet up to $250. Get in on some of these promos and win you some chips and stop betting with your emotions. Okay? Stop doing that because when you become an emotional bettor, that's when you start to lose. Be smart, get these bets in early. Let's see what we got. All right. So, the Cowboys and the Giants, I'm going under 21.5. The Saints and the Falcons, I'm going over the 22.5. The Steelers and the Colts, I'm going under the 19.5. Vikings and Packers, I'm going over 22.5. And Bengals and Panthers, I'm going under 23.5. And remember, these are first half picks, okay? Not game line, but first half picks. Throw that into a parlay on DraftKings. Snatch one of those promos. See how much you can get. This one right here, you put this in a mega parlay. SPGX and throw 10 on there. Get you back 89.60. Okay. My picks for the spread for this coming up week. I'm going to take Cowboys at -4. I'm going to take the Saints at +1.5. The Steelers at -1.5. And I'm going to take my Browns at +1. Okay. Throw that into a parlay, or you could break that down and do two-man slips. Mix it up. You could do Cowboys and Saints on one, Steelers and Browns, Browns and Saints, Cowboys and Steelers. You could break that up and put more money on each if you think, or add you a teaser or a round robin. But anyhow, you could break that up or just do one 4-leg parlay if you like. Now listen, I got my MLB run line 3-leg parlay. All right. Today, we got the Cubs and the Phillies, okay? I'm going Phillies on the run line at +1.5. All right. Excuse me. Today, 3:45, I believe, or no, let's see. That's Yankee. So that'll be a 4 o'clock game. Okay, my time. But anyway, I'm going with the Yankees on the run line at -1.5. And I am going Boston Red Sox at +1.5 over the Blue Jays. Go ahead and throw that into. And they have some nice promos for baseball right now on DraftKings. Go in there and check out the ones that you think that suits your needs. But I'm going to take the profit boost on this, throw 20 on this one, and get back 106. All right. We're going to come back with Gone Now because how did Kendrick say it? You lied about this and you lied about, yeah, well, okay, let's get through these lies, okay? Because a lot of people out here just putting out false narratives on social media, and we're going to talk about it when we come right back.
Looking for some quality betting picks? Well, download the Discord app and join our group Bet Masters Lounge where you can get positive EV and arbitrage along with best bets and parlays. Download Discord now, send us an invite, and get in on the action.
All right, it's time for Gone Now. Now, listen, we have all heard the they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Memes all over everywhere, any social media outlet, any news outlet. It even made it to the presidential debate stage with this idiot repeating it on stage. Well, we found out that the person who put the story out there lied and admitted it. How Kendrick said, you lied about everything. Well, this woman has been found out to be an internet liar. Now, listen to this. The woman behind an early Facebook post spreading a harmful and baseless claim about Haitian immigrants eating local pets that helped thrust a small Ohio city into a national spotlight says she had no firsthand knowledge of any such incident and is now filled with regret and fear as a result of the ensuing fallout. Now, gone now, you mean to tell me you took the entire time to sit on your computer phone or whatever device you used and typed a lie, and then you watched this spread, and then when you seen it fall out, then that's when you sorry? Gone now. She was quoted by saying, "It just exploded into something I didn't mean to happen." Her name is Erica Lee, a Springfield resident, as she told NBC News on Friday. Now, check this out. Lee recently posted on Facebook about a neighbor's cat that went missing, adding that the neighbor told Lee she thought the cat was the victim of an attack by her Haitian neighbors. I'm not finished. Newton told NewsGuard news outlet or newspaper, I guess that's the name of it, that Lee's Facebook post misstated her story and that the owner of the missing cat was an acquaintance of a friend rather than her daughter's friend. Newton could not be reached for a comment. Now wait a minute. Now hold on. You mean to tell me that you done posted something about that somebody's friend of a friend, that somebody's mama that then said something about something that wasn't true, and then you done posted it and you, oh, gone now. Lee says she had no idea the post would become part of a rumor mill that would spire into the national consensus. She has since deleted the post from Facebook. Did you actually think that at the time that you left the post on Facebook and you knew it was a all out blatant lie, then you only delete it after you get found out that, oh, this done went too far. Oh, I better take it off. Oh, I don't want anybody to come for me because somebody done told you from somebody's neighbor's mama about a cat that you said was actually eaten by the Haitian neighbor. Gone now. Let me finish. Other posts have also contributed to the false allegations, including a photo of a man holding a dead goose that was taken in Columbus, Ohio, but was spread by someone online as evidence of the claims about Springfield. Graphic video of a woman who allegedly killed and tried to eat a cat was also found not to have originated in Springfield, but in Canton, Ohio, and does not have any connection or correlation with the Haitian community. Now, let me say this. You mean to tell me that y'all fools are going on to people's personal pages, taking pictures off, or going on Google and getting stock photos and trying to pass them off online to further ignite the lie? Local police and city officials have repeatedly said there is no evidence of such crimes in Springfield, but that hasn't stopped the lies from spreading across the country and igniting a national frenzy that landed where else but on a presidential debate stage, where this orange peel is up there saying they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, without even doing any type of research and background into what he's spewing out of his mouth. If that doesn't tell you what type of air brain he is and the people that's in his circle, you mean to tell me that you, sir, are running for the highest office of the land, and not one of your handlers had said, hey, good brother, you need to not say this because we investigated this and there is no evidence about this. No, all of y'all need to go on now. You, the cabinet that work with you, the people that handle you, the people that's in your circle, all y'all are crazy. Now, um, Donald Trump and his running mate, J.D. Vance, who was born less than an hour away from Springfield, continue to repeat the allegations online. Now, the young lady said that she never imagined her post would become such a conspiracy theory of um hate for the Haitian community. Well, it didn't stop you from putting it out there. So in my mind, that means that you already thought and perceived these people to be a certain type, because not only did you believe it, you typed it in a social media setting and you let it sit there and you only took it down because you got caught. Gone now. Did you want it to stay up and you got a kick out of all the memes and all of the remixes and all of the stuff on TikTok and Instagram? Is that what you wanted to see? Oh, my posting. Look at this. Look at this. I started this and now look at the trend. And then when it started at the kitchen, got a little hot in the kitchen. Then you started to say, okay, well, hold on now. The police are getting involved. They're doing some investigation. It's going to come back full circle. They need to put you in jail for lying or inciting hate against a community of people that was unjust. Gone now. That's going to wrap it up for this week's episode. The internet is a scary place, y'all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast. Thank you guys so much for running the numbers up. I have been trying new things here, growing the channel, and trust me, your input does not go unnoticed. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And like I tell you all the time, it don't cost you a thing. I'm not trying to charge y'all to do anything. Just go ahead and click it and hit that notification bell as well, so you know when a new episode drops. If you're over on Apple Podcasts, you can find me there. If you're down the street over on Spotify, I'm over there too. If you're around the corner at iHeartRadio, I'm over there, or wherever you get your podcasts. And guess what? I'm going to come right back here next week, y'all. All right? Peace.